Video part 9. We're going to create a sheet so you would be able to print this later. Basically, all you're going to do is go down to sheet over here in your project browser. You want to right click on sheets, click new sheet. It automatically loads an E size. We don't usually print E, we usually print a D or a C. So what you want to do is you want to load. You want to go all the way down to the bottom and click title blocks. And you would click the size you want. A would be your regular piece of paper that you print on a 8.5 by 11 piece. B is 11 by 17 and so on. We usually do C or D. I'm going to go ahead and load the D size right now. Click open. You can also create your own template title blocks and load those in yourself. Have a default if you want to create a personal title block, you're able to do that. I'm going to say OK because I want the D. And it gives me this sheet. Now I can start with this and I can make it my own by editing this by clicking here and go edit family. And what happens is it brings me into another window and I can edit this now. I can delete this, I can put my name there, I can edit all this stuff, take things out. I don't usually use those, so I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete the Autodesk website, and you can put a logo, picture, anything in there that you want. You can also delete stuff. Like I don't want this line there. I want more space to be able to put my drawing. So I'm going to delete all this. All I want is that on my sheet. So I'm going to hit load into project, and you want to override existing version. So now you can see I have this sheet. You can save this too somewhere on your user if you ever want to do that. But now I have more space too to put onto my sheet. That's something nice to use to have. Okay, so what you want to do first, you want to take on your level 1 floor plan. Okay, so basically it's really easy to put stuff onto a sheet. You just want to drag and drop. So I'm going to take level 1, drag it on here, and drop it. Whoa, it's really small. Okay, so if I zoom in, let's see what scale it is. It's 1/8 inch scale. So that's kind of small for this piece of paper. So I can make this bigger so the person on the job site can read it. What you do is you double click level 1 view, come down here to 1/8 inch scale, and maybe go to 1/4 inch, because that's what usually floor plans are labeled at, is 1/4 inch. Right there. So now it's changed a little. It doesn't look anything different, but if I go down here to sheets, click the plus sign, now I have A101. That's the sheet I just made. Now you can see it did make it a little bit bigger. Now my pet peeve are these elevation markers. Okay, I will show you how to get rid of those in a minute. If you look now at your scale, you can see level 1 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. So it's still small for this paper. I could add more things to this paper, which we are. So I'm going to place that right there. Now I'm going to show you how to get rid of those elevation markers. It's called cropping. So I just need to select into these work areas somewhere. And down on the bottom, okay, first of all, click. Actually, the way you get rid of it is you can't do it in here. You have to go into your level 1 view. Level 1, and in here, if I zoom out, you can see the elevation markers are way out there. Down here are my tools to use this. Okay, it says show crop region. I'm going to turn that on. So the light bulb just came on. Now I can see my crop region. So I'm going to drag the grips into where I can't see those elevations. See how they're disappearing? They're still there. It's just I'm cropping them out. So now I can come over here and I can say do not crop view. They're back. Okay, I want to turn the crop on. And I turned it on. See how the X went away? Let's say I want to turn the crop view region off. It's still cropped, but I turned that box off. Okay, so I can turn this stuff on and off by using these two buttons. Now, if I have this on, this box, it'll print if it's on my sheet. So I'm going to turn this off. I don't want it to print. I'm going to go back to my sheet, and you can see it's on here without the big old elevation markers. Now this line down here, I want it up here. You can either delete this and just drag it back in, it'll be perfect, and I'll show you how to do that. Or if I click this line one time, I can drag it over here. If I click this box, now I can drag the grip in. See, if I just click the line, the grips don't show up. But if I click the box, these grips show up and I can shrink it down. I can't move the line because if I try and move the line, the whole thing moves. Okay, let's say I didn't want to mess with all that. I could just delete it, drag it back in, and it's cropped. So now I zoom in and it says level 1 1/4 inch. I do want my line a little closer to the thing. Alright, so now what I also want you to do is I want you to drag in you can also drag in 3D views. So if I have a view over here, I want to drag it in. This 3D view right here, drag it over, and it's your house. This 3D view 1 is the shot of your bathroom. Now, the size of them are bigger because of the size of the camera, how I widen that camera. See how it's bigger? You can do that with this house too if you want. I'm not going to mess with it. But the next video I'm going to show you is how to create schedules. A schedule like a door schedule or a window schedule, and then we will add those to this sheet and then we will print it. One last thing. We need to label this. Owner, okay? You can label this 2 different ways. I can come over here and right click and do a rename, and this window pops up. Okay, or I can go over to this section over here, unnamed. The owner, I'm going to double click. I don't want to do that. Just load in the project. If I just click one time and then click again, owner, I'm going to just put in my name. And now on every single sheet that I create, it's going to have Mr. Schwartz at the top. So if and let's say unnamed, I'm going to put getting started. Remember, you should have all caps. In architectural, it should be all caps. So just turn your cap locks on. So go ahead and change that. I want all caps. Project name, you can just delete that. Well, don't delete it. Just put Revit in there. Revit getting started. So if I go in and I right click on sheet and I hit new sheet, I hit D and say OK. Now if you look, it says Mr. Schwartz Revit unnamed because this sheet is not named. But my sheet number is changed and now it's A102. And you look over here, you can see A101. You can change the numbering to system if you want. But anyways, anytime I add a sheet, it's going to add Mr. Schwartz, Revit, getting, and then you'll label this every time, whatever sheet it is, whether it's a floor plan, foundation, electrical, whatever plan it is, you would write that in there. So that's creating a sheet. We're going to add the schedule, like I said, to these, and then we will print these out, and you will be finished.